Hello and welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. I'm Dustin. This is the Week 13 Waiver Wire Show. We're heading into the last week before the playoffs, so we got some guys you're going to want to take a look at. We start with Fred Jackson. He's owned in about 70% of leagues. He's playing really well out there in Buffalo. He's going to continue to see a lot of carries. Next is Justin Forsett. Julius Jones is coming back, and they have announced he's going to be the starter, but Forsett has been playing really well. He's going to continue to see a lot of touches. He's owned in about 60% of leagues. Now we got a few receivers for you, and we start with Kenny Britt. We talked about him last week. With Tennessee playing better and Vince Young throwing the ball well, Britt has played really well. He's only owned in about 15% of leagues. He's going to give you some good value down the stretch. Snag him now for some receiver depth. Next is Chris Chambers. We were wrong about him. We thought one of the younger receivers was going to emerge with the Dwayne Bowe suspension, but Chambers has played really well. Bowe's going to be out for 2 more games, so Chambers could give you some value during those games. Next, we got Jeremy Maclin. If Deshaun Jackson ends up missing any time, Maclin's going to be huge. He's only owned in about 65% of leagues, so snag him if you can. Moving down, we got a couple of defenses for you this week. We got Chicago against the Rams. Now, Chicago's D hasn't played that well lately, but come on, it's the Rams. They should be okay. They're only owned in about 60% of leagues. And a defense I really like this week is Buffalo against the Jets. Buffalo's had a good fantasy defensive year, and the Jets have been given a lot of mistakes, a lot of interceptions lately. Buffalo's only owned in about 30% of leagues. I like their chances at getting you some fantasy points this week. All right, now let's take a look at some guys in some deeper leagues you might want to add. We're going to start with Larry Johnson. If you haven't read Bigger Boat's post in the pickup section of the forums, you're going to want to go read it. It's pretty funny. But Larry Johnson, I don't think they were anticipating on giving him that many carries on Sunday. But Bernard Scott had a fumble early in the game, which I'm sure didn't help. And he also got banged up. So he wasn't healthy halfway through the game. They put in Larry Johnson, and he played really well. Now, Benson is going to come back this week, and it's still yet to be seen how much Scott and Johnson are going to creep in on his carries. But Benson's still the guy to own. But if you own Benson, you might want to snag Larry Johnson just for some insurance. Next, we got 2 people out there in Tampa Bay with Antonio Bryant and Josh Freeman. Josh Freeman has looked really good lately. He's worth a look in deeper leagues and all 2 quarterback leagues. He's only owned about 10% of leagues. And with Freeman playing better, this increases Bryant's value. He could be a good pickup. He's owned about 50% of leagues right now. Go ahead and take a look at him if you're looking for some receiver depth. Next, we got Vince Young. He's played really well lately. He's worth a look in deeper leagues. He's owned in about 30% of leagues. Moving down, we got Jason Avant, owned in about 10% of leagues. It's the same thing with Maclin. If Deshaun Jackson misses any time, Avant's value is going to be really high. He's had a few good games in a row, but if Jackson misses time, Avant, you got to get him on your team. He could have a good couple games for you. Now I got a couple individual defensive players for you. We got James Laurinaitis, linebacker for the Rams, and Demario Williams, linebacker for the Chiefs. Both these guys have been getting a lot of tackles lately. You're going to want to take a look at them and individual defensive players. And also don't forget, as these good teams, good playoff teams clinch their playoff berths and clinch their first round bye, you're going to want to take a look at the second string guys like Donald Brown, Chester Taylor, Mike Bell. All these guys are going to be getting increased workloads, and they could help you out down the stretch. Now, this is just a portion of the Week 13 waiver wire. To see the full list, go on to FantasySmackTalk.com and click on Week 13 waiver wire on the homepage. Brett and I will be back later on in the week. Until then, we'll see you in the forums.